how to set up ratios. The beautiful thing is it's hard to mess them up. There's like a lot of ways to do it right, and usually only one or two ways to do it wrong. So what you want to do when you're setting up the ratios is make sure that what's on top has a label or represents the same kind of measurement as the other fraction that's on top, like B to here and B to here. For example, in this above, if I said I want to set this up as ratios that I can compare, then I could say, well, if I'm going to use apples on top here, then I want to make sure I'm using apples on top here. Now, it doesn't matter which thing's on top and which thing's on bottom. The key is that you want to make sure that they're related next to each other. And so in this case, if I had apples on top, I could do oranges on the bottom. Like if I said, oh, you know, my sister's family buys 6 apples a week and 11 oranges, and we buy the same ratios, but I buy 21 apples a week. So how many oranges would I be buying compared to hers? And so I might set it up like this. Now, when I always put my labels on first. I don't put my numbers in. I just decide, you know, which thing am I going to put on top here? I make sure that I put the same thing on top here. So that would mean that I could take all of the stuff from one situation. I could say 6 apples and 11 oranges. That's from the first situation. And then I could say, okay, 21 apples and some number of oranges. Now, interestingly, to solve this, I would cross multiply and then divide. So I would say 21 times 11 divided by 6. I want you to see what happens if I'd set this up upside down. If I said, oh, I want oranges on the top instead, then that would mean apples are on the bottom instead. And if I put the numbers in place, when I go to solve it by cross multiplying where I can and divide by the number left hanging, just like I did here, cross multiply where I can, divide by the number I didn't use yet, notice that I have 11 times 21 divided by 6, which is exactly what I had here. And so both ways are absolutely correct. In fact, there's another way that it's correct, because notice when I set these up, not only were going across here, these two things related because they're both apples, but when I look going down, these are related because these numbers come from the same set of circumstances. So that's the thing you want to keep in mind, is every number should be next to or vertically aligned with only those things they relate to. So I could also have said, okay, I want all the apples in one fractions, and then put oranges in the other. That's totally fine as well. If I take the apples from the first set, and that would be 6, and then the apples from the second set, that would be 21. Now over here, when I'm setting this one up, I need to do it the same way. See, this was from the first set, and this one was from the second set. So make sure over here that it's also from the first set or the second set and the second set. If you flip them around, that's when it's going to get wrong. So the first set of oranges was 11. The second set of oranges is the unknown. So notice going across here, the 6 and 11, they're related because they came from the same circumstance. And these two are related because they both have the same label. So if you can always see that connection, then you know that you have it set up correctly. A wrong way to set it up, one of the ways of setting it wrong would be like saying 6 apples over some number of oranges. Well, the 6 apples and the some number of oranges are from different circumstances, and they have different labels. There isn't anything that connects them. So we would never set it up that way. So down here with the horsepowers and the cubic inches and stuff, since they said that 390 cubic inches is producing 240 horsepower, that's one fraction that we could put. And again, you can either put all of your inches cubed in the same fraction, and then your horsepowers in the same fraction if you want to, like that. And then make sure that the numbers that you put in here connect. Or you can take all of one circumstance of inches over horsepower with the inches over horsepower, or flip it around the other way. You can do horsepower over inches. You know, any of those is going to be totally fine. You just have to make sure you have that connection, how they're related.